Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Quinton here, and welcome to tutorial number 9. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to add audio to your website using the new HTML5 audio tag. Now, like I said, this audio tag is new to HTML5. So, because it is a new tag, there are some browsers that might not support this tag, or if someone's using a browser that hasn't been updated in a while, so let's say they are using Google Chrome or Firefox, but it just hasn't been updated in a long time, then this tag might not work for them either. Okay, so to add an audio tag to your web page, you're just going to go ahead and type in audio like that in a tag, but it is a double tag, so we're going to close it off as well. Okay, and because this is actually not enough information, we're still going to have to tell the browser somehow what file to include. Okay, so we've got another tag that we can put inside here, which is the source, and this is actually where we will be placing our source attribute as well. Now the reason for this is some browsers might not support one file type, so they might not support MP3. Then you have to put in multiple source tags, so you'll put in a source for Google Chrome which supports MP3, and then you'll put in another source tag for Firefox that supports OGG or something like that. Okay, but actually most browsers all support MP3. So if you're using Firefox or you're using Google Chrome, we should get away with just using an MP3 file. Okay, but before we get into the attributes, I also want to just tell you guys that if the user is using an old browser, okay, this audio tag isn't going to work for them. It's not really going to show up. So what we can do is include a message in between this audio tag, just to say to the user that they need to update their browser. It won't show up if the audio tag does work. So if they're using a browser that is already up to date, then the message won't show up. But if they're using an out-of-date browser, then the message will show up. Okay, so we can just say, if you can see this, update your browser. Okay, so hopefully they don't see this message, but if they do, they need to update their browser. Okay, and now we can talk about the attributes. So there's actually a few attributes that we're going to need to include over here. And the first one obviously is the source attribute, and we can set this equal to the file that we want to include on our page. Okay, so I've got this audio file here. It's an MP3 file which I downloaded from YouTube's audio library, and it's basically just some free music that YouTube offers there. So I'm going to go ahead and say garage.mp3. Okay, and that should work for us for now. But there's also another attribute that we need to include, and that is the type. Okay, and the type is basically just telling the browser what audio file they should be expecting. Okay, or it should be expecting, should I say. Okay, so because this is an MP3, then we know that the browser should be expecting an audio / MPEG file. Okay, so like I said, the reason why this is set up like this in a different tag is because, well, it's a single tag, so we can close that off, is because let's say if you wanted to test this in a few browsers and you found out that maybe Opera or something does not support an MP3, then you can go ahead and put in another tag here with a file like OGG, which it does support. Okay, And then you just have to make sure, whoops, you just have to make sure that you have not only an MP3 here, but an OGG file as well. But that might be a little bit complicated for some of you guys. So let me just get back to Notepad++ here. And we can just take that line out. We really don't need it right now because we've only got an MP3. Okay, but there is one file or one other attribute that we're gonna have to include here, and that is gonna be in these audio tags. We're gonna specify that we want some controls. Okay, so the controls are gonna show up in the browser, and they might look different on every browser. So unless you want to make your own controls with JavaScript, then you need to actually specify these controls so that the user will be able to push, play, pause, and rewind, etc. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this now. And if I go back to Firefox and click refresh, you can see I now have this little audio thing here, which I can push play, and if I push play, it's going to play the music. So go ahead, do that. Okay, so that's cool. But then there's two other attributes which I can talk to you guys about as well, and that would be the autoplay. So autoplay and loop. Okay, sorry, typos. So autoplay basically tells the browser when this when the web page is finished loading, just play the music. Okay, just don't even wait for the user to click play or anything, just play it. And loop is basically when you get to the end of the track, just start it over again. So let's go back now and we'll save that first and click refresh here. And as soon as I click refresh, the music is going to start playing, and well, I'll make it loop. I'll click on the end and I'll make it loop again. Okay, so let's click refresh, and as you can see, the music starts playing. So if I go ahead and I fast forward this right to the end, okay, as soon as it ends, it's going to jump right back to the beginning and start playing. Okay, so that's what loop does. That loop just makes it restart again, and autoplay basically makes it that as soon as the web page loads, the song plays. Okay, now let me show you what happens if we didn't include the controls tag or controls attribute. Okay, then that would mean that we have no way of telling the music to play or stop or pause or anything. So right now we've still got the autoplay here and the loop. Okay, so now when I click refresh, we're not gonna have this thing, but the music's gonna play as soon as I click refresh. Okay, and I can't stop it. So yeah, I kind of just need to delete it or exit, close it. Okay, and that's actually all I have for you guys in this video. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Please feel free to leave a comment, like, or share the video. It's really going to help my channel grow, and I'll see you guys next time.